Across LC with your hosts, Jeff Alsman and Cody Zitman.
And welcome once again to the A2Z Across LC podcast. I'm Jeff Alsman. Cody Zitman is alongside. I'm the A. He's the Z in the A to Z, and I think
our picture should be flip-flopped.
That's what
Mike
some folks have
Lemons,
said,
come on,
but,
that's the feedback. Mike Lemons, flip the pictures.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. There's certain, you want to be in the correct light. So the light on this side is correct for my tone. The light on your side is correct for your tone because you're a little more tanned.
Thank you.
Than I am.
Probably from mowing grass.
Probably from mowing lots of grass.
Yeah, for sure. 100% field guy.
So
how about shout out to our producer? We should do that every once in a while.
We should every time. We really should.
Yeah. David O.
Yeah.
David O. Are you on a mic? Yeah, David O. That's what I'm talking about.
Olin Biddle, for those who don't know him by
David O.
like we do. And what's the O stand for besides Olin Biddle?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought maybe you had something ready to.
O'Reilly. No, it's not that.
Now you're giving free
plugs.
Hey,
O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you want to have a banner at Lewis and Clark Community College for Athletics, give me a shout. That's Cody Zitman at 618-468-6205.
Fantastic. Now everybody knows your number. Good to be back starting the month of April.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, still lots of things happening on campus.
I heard we got a million views.
Who'd you hear that from?
April Fools.
Oh. Now we
gotcha.
There's no reason for us to do prep work.
There's not. No, I literally walked right into the room. Thank God you got the cheat sheet right here. Look at this.
It doesn't even work for you.
Caffeine going, cheat sheet going. Here we go.
So how about we talk about some of the events that are coming up in April? How's that sound?
That sounds good.
We've got the Lewis and Clark Student Art Exhibit, which opens this weekend and will run all the way through the entire month of April. High school registration. Now, this is for the students who maybe missed the first one because they were offered per school for the in-district schools. So if you missed that, this is your chance to get caught up because it doesn't matter what school you're attending, what high school, you can come on the 8th. And high school registration is for you there for that makeup
Get signed up.
day.
Get signed up. Good things happening. You could be on this podcast.
Could be. And you probably, could use some more athletes too, I imagine, right?
I could. We're shooting for 200 this year, but we could push past 200.
Hey.
Everybody's welcome.
Absolutely. And if not, they could be supporters.
I like it.
I was going to say athletic supporters, but I never like it when when people say that.
They could also be part of the KD Cup.
Supporters of athletics, I like better.
Supporters of athletics.
Yes. There's going to be a blood drive that the Veterans Club is going to have here on April 10th. That'll be in the Commons. And then a big event, and I mean a big event, as we honor all of the top high school students from around all of the schools in our district. The Silver Medallions Award Dinner, that's going to be on the 11th.
Did you know athletics is having a team builder laying the floor for the Silver Medallion and Trebuchet?
I did know that, and I volunteered for that.
Yeah, man.
How about that? I don't know if they could see that on the screen.
Oh, yeah,
we
right.
kind of
We're
get out of
in
screen.
Different areas.
Yeah, well, sort of. But our arms aren't that long. But anyway, that's a really cool event, and that's going to be on the 11th in the arena. And then the STEAM Festival, I'm interested in that one too because
I'm fired up.
That's kind of a
one,
neat.
Right?
I think so. Yeah. That's going to be on the 12th in the Commons. There's a discussion panel on race and health on the 18th in the theater. And that'll be from 11 to noon during the lunch hour. Then the trebuchet. Did I say that right? Trebuchet. Trebuchet.
A throwback to the past.
It's like they build these catapult things. These high school groups come in, students come in and build these catapults, and then they throw a bunch of stuff across the arena. I don't even know what they load them with. Do you have any idea?
I don't. We should get Kevin.
Do you need to wear
here.
helmets for this, or
I
some
guess
kind
if
of
you walk through
equipment
the
or
area
something?
that they're shooting it at?
I'd kind of like. You're going to be there. You take some pictures, or you get something,
or we could get Pep from the bridge.
Send
him on down.
Because
what if we go live
from the trebuchet? You're gonna have to talk to our producer. You're gonna have to talk to our producer.
What do you think?
Can't do it.
Not so much for that. He doesn't want. This is expensive equipment. He doesn't want anything tossed at it.
He takes.
That's what it
is. He takes the Android phone, and he just go Zoom from there.
Oh, you meant just to go get pictures. I thought you meant to podcast live.
No, we'll be here, but we'll get the shots and we'll act like we'll go into them.
Oh, you mean we'll toss. We'll pitch to the video.
We'll shoot
That's
our
podcast talk. Pitch
trebuchet
to the video.
towards the trebuchet event.
Okay, we probably won't have any of it. But anyway,
right.
Good try.
It's still a good thing.
And then the Lewis and Clark Honors Ceremony is also in the theater. That'll be on the 19th of April at 5:30. So, man, all kinds of things going on. And this just a snapshot of what's happening across campus. So if you are really interested in what's going on in Lewis and Clark, all the different events that we have here, all you need to do is go to events.lc.edu, and you can scroll through day by day, building by building, room by room, however deep you want to dive into it, and find out all the different things that are going on, because that will take you to our public calendar. Again, it's events.lc.edu if you want to stay abreast of all of the different events going on here throughout the month of April and beyond. You can search it as far into the future as the events are scheduled, and just stay on top of things, because some folks, not so much me, but some folks like to do advanced planning.
I like it.
Is that all you got? That's all you got?
That's all I got. You take care of that. Allsy Cliff Notes.
Okay. So real quick, let's do. I'm gonna let. You want to do this? You want to do a little rundown of what's on the program today, or do you want me to?
Always. No. You do it.
You want me to?
Can I pitch in? I got a couple. I was looking at the names.
Okay. Of course, we're going to talk to. We're honored with greatness today, and it's not either one of us on the program. Meghan Becraft, who is
Kraft macaroni and cheese, baby. I was waiting for that one.
Not Kraft, Becraft.
I know, but I just took Kraft.
I hope she's not upset with that.
Which, by the way, Kraft macaroni and cheese. If you want to buy a banner for athletics, call 618-462-6205, and we'll hook you up in the RBA or many of our fields across.
You know what we need to do? We just need to have our producer come up with a graphic that when you get rolling on that, just pop the number up.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
at the number at the bottom of the screen.
I don't know. We have a producer that doesn't like to do things, apparently. Can't do a trebuchet. No, I'm just joking. Oh, I'm just joking. I'm teasing.
Without the producer, neither one of us is going to be here. So can you at least treat the producer nice?
Oh, you're the best.
There you go. Tommy Karlas, a former Lewis and Clark student and a professional artist, plays guitar and sings.
Is she doing that?
That's not a she.
He. Sorry. Is he doing that?
Yeah.
He's bringing his guitar on this show?
He's going to sing for us.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
And you're probably going to want to join in.
I wish I would have got the song beforehand.
See, you got to come to the prep meeting. That's all.
Jeff put the lyrics on the back. No.
Anyway, because it's National Guitar Month. Some people say guitar. Some people say guitar.
Guitar.
I'm not sure which it is. Maybe Tommy will know. But either way, he's going to come. He's going to sing. He's going to play.
Okay.
I've heard him. It ought to be great.
Awesome.
And especially if you can control yourself.
I will.
And not jump in over him.
I promise.
Be on your best behavior.
I will.
Or he won't come back.
I will.
That's not what we want. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Occupational Therapy Month with Debbie Witsken, who is
for the win!
A professor of occupational therapy, assistant program here, as well as Ashley Harris, who is an associate professor in the OTA program as well. So we've got a lot of things to cover. We probably should get moving.
We need to move. Let's roll.
Take us out. We'll be right back. This is the A to Z Across LC podcast.
We are
LC A to Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but my path could have been in exercise science. Let's go! Or I could have discovered the artist in me.
And welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. And we have a special guest with us for this segment. It's Meghan Becraft, and she's the Associate Professor of Dental Assisting and also the Illinois Community College Trustee Association Outstanding Full-Time Faculty Award nominee. See, Cody, I told you, we are in the presence of greatness here on the program.
What I'm talking about, little dental assisting professor. That's what I'm talking about.
So, Meghan, welcome to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Before we start talking about the award, let's talk a little bit about Meghan. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into this field, that sort of thing.
Wow. Okay, that's a mouthful. So I had ortho as a kid, thought I didn't hate teeth. That was a win. Ran into a girlfriend that I went to high school with who said, hey, I'm going to be a dental hygienist. And I said, I don't know what that is. Sounds interesting. put in my college application, came to Lewis and Clark, did my first 2 years, of course, and then went on to complete my bachelor's in dental hygiene. And that's how I ended up being a dental hygienist.
So about the award, now this is statewide, I think. Is that correct? So how do they?
Gosh, I'm so nervous.
Oh, calm down. You saw the first segment. You know you have.
I'm so nervous.
No reason.
Look at me. I've got to fan myself. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
He's on fire.
I'm on fire. Yes, I am.
There's no reason.
It's a lot about me. It's just so much me talk. It's so much. It's too much.
Well, we're just getting started.
All right.
You need another pile.
Okay,
of
I might.
papers?
You never know.
So tell us about the nomination. That sounds like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal. I was really surprised. It's a nomination that they award annually. So every community college in the state of Illinois has an opportunity to nominate a nominee. So I happen to be the 2024 nominee recipient for Lewis and Clark. It's a honorary nomination for outstanding full-time faculty members, whether it's outstanding in student applications within the organization, within the community, or a combination of all. So someone thought that I was worthy this year.
So how'd you find out? Do they come like, hey,
no.
you get the phone
It's
call?
like the guy who brings the flowers to the door and just hits the doorbell when you win
And it's
that.
just a hey, here.
It's like what is that? That's the public,
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one. The producer O was trying to lip that to me. And I couldn't get it. So thank you, Meghan, for
You're
coming
welcome.
up with that.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's how they do it. Not really.
So it's at the in-service week meeting. So everyone has to meet for in-service, and I think it was at the end of the in-service week. The in-service week meeting?
Everyone has to meet for in-service.
I think so.
So it's right there in front of your peers.
Right.
Oh, now
Were you
that would be
nervous?
nervous.
Yeah, well, I didn't know, thankfully.
You didn't know, surprise.
Right. So I said very little. I said very little when I had my opportunity to speak, because it's quite a humbling experience, and I was taken completely off guard. Also, I feel like while it's a nomination for an individual, for me personally, all the things that I'm capable of doing is because I have such a great team that I work with. And my team doesn't just consist of the faculty in my department, but it's the staff, it's the other professionals here at the Lewis and Clark organization. So I felt like it was an award acceptance for everyone, not just myself. And that's how I'm going to continue to shed light on that. I think that's just really important, that even though you have one person that's maybe standing into the spotlight, there's a lot of support that goes on, behind the scenes that maybe a lot of us aren't aware of. So
You are a rock star. That was a great answer.
So when is it that they announce the winner of the award, and where do they do that? And will they come to your door and ring the bell for that, or do you have to go to a big ceremony and get nervous all over again?
Right. It's a ceremony to get nervous all over again in Chicago, and it's in June.
So we've got 2 more months to
bite my nails.
to get
Is there a
pins
voting?
and needles.
Is there
and everything.
voting?
There is. It's at the state level. So this is a nomination. So while I've been nominated, and it's a huge honor, now every nomination from each community college, public school community college, now goes into a state pool. And there's a whole process that they must go through and, pick the winner chicken dinner, so to speak. And then that person is honored at that award ceremony.
But this is Illinois, so you can vote multiple times, right?
I don't think it's a voting. I don't think it's like, what is that?
Did I say that?
Yeah, a million viewers. Remember that.
Producer, you can edit that part if you want to.
What are those shows where you can vote? It's when they're singing. I forget.
The Voice.
Oh, The Voice.
The Voice, when you
The
can
Voice.
just like,
I was on there a couple times.
You were on The Voice?
No.
Yeah, you know the early part
He's
where
not
they make
telling
fun
the
of, and then
truth.
you get booted. April Fools.
That
He's not a truth teller.
Okay, so we need to stop right here and tell the folks that we're recording the show on April Fool's Day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Even
Shoot.
though they'll be
That's
hearing
right.
it
It's April Fool's Day.
3 or 4 days later.
Right.
So you're supposed to just let, that's supposed to be seamless.
Yes,
where-
that's right. That's right. I'm
That's
sorry.
why you come to the prep meetings.
That is why you come to the prep meeting.
Yeah, okay. So that's twice
That's true.
that you've April
Let's get
Fooled us.
back to Megan.
Yeah,
Back
let's
to
go
boy.
back to
and
Megan.
dental. because we want to promote the program too.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
And so you're saying this like a shared award. So
it is.
Tell us a little bit about the program because I don't know.
Oh gosh, I can tell you all kinds of things.
Yeah, please do.
So let me tell you a little bit about both programs. I'm actually an educator in the dental assisting and the dental hygiene program here at Lewis and Clark. So currently, let me just tell you a little bit about some of the things we're doing out in the community. So during COVID, everything just kind of stopped. So once we were able to kind of come out of that cloud, so to speak, we really started to build some momentum with some really innovative and creative community service opportunities and projects. So the dental assisting students right now are working on a community project that includes an educational piece and also a community service direct piece. So they are going into nursing homes. They're working with homeless shelters. Some of the students somehow worked in a dental component. I don't know. I'm looking forward to reading about it at a pet shelter, an animal shelter. I don't know what they're doing from a dental education perspective, but I'm sure they're going to come up with something creative. Some of the students, let's see, homeless shelters, nursing homes, Hope Center. The variety of things that they're doing is just some basic oral hygiene education programs, but then also they are, one of the students went shopping with a whole collective group for shoes for underserved or underserved population. So it's just really been a great opportunity. They go out into the community, they complete the projects, and they write a reflection piece. So they'll be submitting that this week. So that'll be really interesting. Our dental hygiene students are working on similar community projects with Head Start. But have you heard about the project they've been working with OSF? Have you heard about it at all? Okay, so back before COVID, the dental program, the Lewis and Clark is one of the first community colleges to ever receive a HRSA grant. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's a pool of money that gives the college an opportunity to work within itself intercollaboratively. So the health science programs were to overlap and work together. Exercise science, OTA, nursing, and dental hygiene. So since COVID, we've just continued to build that momentum. And Krista Davis, who happens to be a speech pathologist at OSF, was really the spearhead on the OSF side and was able to pull in our dental hygiene students. And we are working bedside with the patients there for in-service patient care. And we are doing basic clinical exams, oral cancer screenings, and then delivering basic oral hygiene to those patients.
That's awesome.
With a approach that you can't separate disease processes. The head and body are not separate. Everything's connected systemically. So for patients to continue to remain healthy, to get out of the hospital and then stay healthy, their dental health is just as important as their overall body health, and they feed off of one another. So it's having a positive impact. OSF actually published an article back in July of 2023 detailing some of that information, and I'm pretty proud that we were a part of that.
Wow.
So we're doing a lot of stuff.
You are doing a lot of stuff. Can you tell me, just for the people
Sure.
out there, so the two programs, dental assisting, dental hygiene,
Correct?
what's the difference?
Oh, yeah, great question. So dental assistants primarily will work chairside with the dentist directly. Dentist has all kinds of tools in their armamentarium, and they're responsible for setting up, tearing to armamentarium.
That's a big
right.
word.
It's $1 million word.
Wow.
Right.
No wonder the kids are terrified going to the armamentarium.
Armamentarium. Right. So they are working chairside with the dentist for all of those procedures. They handle a lot of back office procedures as well, including record keeping. They do a lot of front office tasks. So they're really the backbone of an office. I've always told myself, and I tell my students the same thing, there's two people you take really good care of in your life. Your daycare provider, because they take care of the people that you love, and your dental assistant, because they take care of your patients and you. So you always treat your dental assistant with the utmost respect. So dental hygienists, on the other hand, have a little more autonomy. They'll actually have their own patient schedule, and they'll work that schedule with some help with the dental assistant, but primarily on autonomy type day. So they will complete periodontal screenings, radiographs, dental charting, and then perform any type of periodontal services. You might have heard layman's terms would be go to get your teeth cleaned and polished and fluoride and things like that. Now,
I like the layman's terms a lot better.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, our dental assisting students, because I have to brag, also have an opportunity to earn an expanded function certificate, and we have that embedded into our program. So our students do not pay any extra money. They don't have to spend any extra time. They do come in for 2 weekends, and I actually lead that portion of their dental program. It's pretty fantastic. So when they graduate, they actually have their dental assisting certificate and then also an expanded function certificate. So when it comes to the dental assisting and dental hygiene programs, we're a 1+1 program design. What that means. What does that mean? Who cares? Tell me why I care about that.
I'm getting fired up.
I'm going to tell
now.
you. Listen, it's pretty
Listen up
awesome.
there,
I'm
students.
telling you. So Lewis and Clark graduates are sought after. I get emails. I can't even tell you how many emails I would get per day as the dental hygiene coordinator looking for our graduates all the time, every day, all year long. One of the reasons is we have a fantastic program. If you want to know about the program, get on the Lewis and Clark Dental Program website or our Facebook page, L&C Dental Programs Facebook page. You can see a lot of the things that we're doing right now with the programs.
Can you see those sweet new dental chairs you guys just got?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. In fact, there's a couple
Cadillacs.
pictures. They're really nice. Again, I'm all about the support system. It's not just one person in the spotlight, right? It takes a team. So we've been really well gifted and taken care of. And your brother really helped spearhead that.
my brother?
So yeah, Corey. So
Corey's that man out there. That's
we're
what
really
I'm
thankful to
talking
Corey.
about.
Our program coordinators and Corey worked really hard to make that happen.
That's awesome.
So our 1+1 program design, I got to get back. Lateral movement in an office. So if you can hire a graduate that's been educated in dental assisting and dental hygiene, you have a person in your office that can do so many jobs and so many tasks. They want our Lewis and Clark graduates. So anyway, in a nutshell, it's great here. Come here. Look into dental. If you like teeth, come be a
If
dental.
you like teeth.
Come be a dental assistant or a dental hygienist. We have a lot of fun.
You like teeth, but you want to be in the lead of
There
an
you go.
up-and-coming program.
There you
Everything
go.
else in the field, LC's for you. Right?
Really? I mean, really, we're doing innovative stuff here. There's not a lot of programs currently that are going into the hospital settings. I mean, we have always been on the up and coming when it comes to opportunities for our students. So I can't brag enough about it. It's the truth.
So as a final question, can we get you to come back after the event June 7th, win or lose, to tell us about how things went? Of course,
Yeah.
we're expecting a victory.
We
but
are expecting a victory.
Well, if we bring home a victory, it's for all of us, not just
Oh,
there's
she's
no I in
good.
team.
She is
So-
good. Is she in political science? too?
I don't know, but I've always heard you say, teamwork makes
Teamwork.
the dream work.
It
right?
does.
Makes
It
the dream
does.
work.
That's right.
So,
So-
Team,
sure,
team,
absolutely.
team. Dr. T, team, right? Team.
Well, thanks for being with us. Good
Hey, I really
luck.
appreciate it. Thanks
Have
so
a
much.
great trip to Chicago, and we will have you back in June so you can tell us all about the experience.
Looking forward to it. And thanks so much for letting me talk about the programs. Any opportunity I have, I really appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Thanks for all you do.
We'll take a break. When we come back, our next segment on the A2Z Across LC podcast.
We are.
LC A to Z.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
And welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, Cody Zipman as well. And Cody, it's National Guitar Month, and what a great guest we have. Tommy Karlas is going to join us all the way from, I think it's Nashville. We'll let him tell us for sure, but I believe it's Nashville. And former Lewis and Clark student, professional artist. He's done concerts here. He's an East Alton native, so his roots are here. But he's also got those Nashville roots where everybody who wants to be a country star is. And Tommy, welcome to our podcast.
Welcome, Tommy.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, good. So first thing I'm going to ask, and this is going to be silly, but did your voice change when you moved away? Did you kind of pick up that Southern dialect, or did you have to work to not do that? Or is that's probably helpful though, isn't it, in country music?
Yeah, I didn't really think it did, but everybody else pointed out that it did. Instead of you guys, I say y'all and little subtle
Yeah,
things like that.
I like it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about growing up here and what it was like moving away to go big time and how all that came about, the interest in it, and just a little background.
Sure. Yeah. I actually started playing guitar because my cousin, who's from there, Pat Calhoun, played at family functions, and he taught me some chords, and I basically taught myself how to play. But I became friends with Charlie Brown, who was another local there, and we started writing songs, started taking trips to Nashville. We went to the Bluebird Cafe. We saw Dean Dillon, my first trip to Nashville at the Bluebird, and I basically just fell in love with it at 14 years old, and I made a 5-year plan, and at 19 in 2001, I moved to Nashville, and it was all off from there.
So Tommy, that Bluebird, can you tell me a little bit? Because isn't one of the historic? Okay, the Stars have gone through there every once in a while. I think I heard one time on like an interview with Garth or whatever, he talked about the Bluebird.
Yeah, Garth got his start there. It's where he found Tony Arata and heard the song "The Dance." Yeah. He also, I think he might have got his record deal through there. At least it was a part of it. Taylor Swift, a lot of those guys. Taylor still plays there. She'll drop in every now and then.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's just a big part of our culture here. It's kind of, and if you ever come there, it's just a little hole in the wall. It seats about 99 people, but there's just an experience of going there that is not like any other place in the world. Songwriters sit in the middle of the room, and the crowd gathers around them, and they just have this really intimate songwriting experience and show.
So we really want to thank you for giving us some of your time today, because you are at the Sony headquarters or the Sony studios. You're actually doing sessions today, right? And you took a little break to be on the podcast. We can't thank you enough. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky my first week here. I ended up meeting my first publisher, which was always the goal as a songwriter. You want to write songs for a living, and you basically need a publisher. And down here on Music Row, there's probably a couple hundred publishers up and down 15th and 16th Avenue. And I ended up getting my first publishing deal, and that kind of started everything for me. I ended up getting some cuts like with Blake Shelton, Randy Travis, Montgomery Gentry. I had a couple week #1. And mostly it's kind of been a grind. There'll be years I'll write for a publishing company, and then I might have a year or two I won't. But I've had 9 publishing deals, and my favorite one is the one I'm in now, which is with Sony Music. It's like writing for the Yankees, basically, as a songwriter. They're the #1 company in the world, and everybody here is really great. And I'm in my 3rd year, basically, with them. And yeah, we're just down here trying to write a song today on Music Row.
Tommy, man, I thank you so much.
Isn't that cool?
I got chills right now. I mean, you are in it. That is awesome.
So for those of us like me who don't know, when you write a song, and do you pitch it to the artist, or do your publicists do that, or do you ever have to sing the song in front of these folks and then you hear them sing your song? And if that's the case, can you do a couple, or maybe just pick out a couple sections of a couple of those that you have done that other people have taken and run with?
Yeah, I can. So basically, your publisher, their job is to give you money to live off of, and then to pitch your songs. But we will pitch them ourselves too. They have these things called tip sheets that basically come out every month, and they say Kenny Chesney is looking for a show opener, or Tim McGraw is looking for a love song, or a life song, or an anthem song. And basically, our whole job is getting together, writing songs every day with a different person. And the best songs of those that you write, you go and demo, you make them sound like the radio, and you or your publisher will pitch them and try to get it to the label or to the artist or producer or whoever, and just try to get them recorded by other people. I have one song I wrote about 4 or 5 years ago that to me was a very special song, and I have basically been pitching that song myself once a month at least for 4 years. And when we had a big snow a couple months ago here in Nashville, I ended up getting an email for that song. It's called Lessons. I had put it out myself. It's out on a songwriter album you can stream. And I also have a music video that got 1 million views on that song too. But I pitched it, and I got an email from Jake Owen. I had pitched this song 2 years ago, and Jake sends me an email saying, "Hey man, I've been walking around my house thinking about life, and I picked up an old Mac, and about 100 emails in, I found this old email from 2 years ago. This song stopped me in my tracks. Will you let me be the messenger for this song?" So that was basically the email I've been waiting for the last 4 years from someone. So as of now, he's planning on doing it whenever he goes in the studio.
Well, that's cool, isn't it? That's
I mean, I'm fired up. Chills.
I mean, he's just name dropping everywhere.
I know he is, Tommy. Yeah. This is awesome.
So well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It is rejection for a living. I mean, most of the songs you write are, aren't good or don't make it or people don't want. So when you actually do get that one that gets through there, it feels really good for sure.
Now, you did your concert here, I think it was last fall, and then that was for a CD that you were actually putting out, right? Or do I have that correct?
Yeah, I've put out a couple albums myself, and we've came back home for both of those at the Hathaway Hall and released them both there just because I played that theater at a talent show when I was in junior high and high school, and I've just always had a special place in my heart for the Hathaway Hall. And so, yeah, we've done a couple there and released 2 albums.
So give us a little sample. We want to, you got the guitar there with you and it's all tuned up. No sense wasting a good tuning job there. So give us a little sample of something. This is Tommy Karlas. Take it away, Tommy.
You got it. A bully won't stop till you stand up to him. You ain't gonna win if you plan on losing. Sometimes a curse can be a blessing. So wait your turn and learn your lesson. Don't hold a grudge, it'll make you bitter. Don't think that money's gonna make you richer. And happiness ain't about possessions. Gotta crash and burn and learn your lessons. You can't win them all. You can't change the past. Don't take for granted what you got. Don't always want what you don't have. Take some chances, have some faith. Make the most of every day. 'Cause it could all be over in a second. Don't miss a day with your old man fishing, or a cup of coffee in your mama's kitchen. 'Cause life is short, time is precious. Sometimes it hurts to learn your lessons. So that's a piece of one.
Oh, that's awesome. Isn't that awesome? I know, it's just like, I know. The secret behind a good song is it's just a good story with music behind it. And that's what I love. That's such a good story and a good message. And everybody's right. Yeah, you don't sound like you came from East Alton anymore. I hate to break it to you, Tommy, but I think Nashville's gotten through and through to you.
It's been good, man. It's like anything. If you were a carpenter and you spent 10,000 hours, building stairs or whatever, you eventually are going to get better at it. And so I've just spent a lot of time doing it.
There's nothing like a good country singer's voice. There's just if you like that kind of music, they just stand out. You just know right away. And it's just a sound all its own, and it's just so cool to hear it. It really, I agree. It really
Tommy,
is.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for you playing that for us, and just hearing that little bit right now. I mean, inspiring, man. I'm fired up right now. I could have that on repeat all day long on the mower.
If you get a chance, go check out the lyric video on that. The person who did it, they had just lost their brother, and so they really spent a lot of time on it. And go to YouTube and just check out Tommy Karlas lessons.
All right.
That's and that's often what happens is the best songs are stories that actually come out of someone's life experience.
Exactly.
And they're able to tell it not in a huge, 300 page form, but just in a micro version. Of that. And it just, music just does something to you. It just does. It captures you. It inspires you. Sometimes it'll make you laugh. Sometimes it'll make you cry. So how do you celebrate National Guitar Week? You go out and get a new one, or I bet you've got several, but I bet you got one that's like your baby.
Yeah, I've gotten 3 guitars this past year, so I don't think I need to be buying any more. But one of them actually I got from there from Mojo's. I found actually this guitar I found at Mojo's a couple years ago, and just a used Taylor that just sounded amazing. I wasn't even looking for one. I just picked it up, and it had that thing that that you don't find often in guitars.
So we've got a local guy who's going big time in the biggest country music place around. He's got the local guitar down there with him. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
I love it.
That's awesome.
Attached to the roots.
Tom's great over there at Mojo's. He always helps me out when I have questions.
We know you're really busy and you got to get back to your stuff. Can you take us out to our next break with something else? Play us something out. Thanks again so much for being with us and taking some time out of your writing sessions today. Best of luck to you. Can't imagine there aren't great things that are coming right around the corner for you. And we'll get you back on again just because I like to hear him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I could listen all day. It could be one of those specialty podcasts.
Absolutely. Here's Tommy Karlas. He's going to take us to break.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for having me. Wake up in the morning, get to living my life. Making sure I'm all that I can be. I went to church on Sunday and there was a moment that came. I swear it was like the Lord spoke right to me.
LC A2Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but my path could have been in exercise science. Let's go! Or I could have discovered the artist in me.
And welcome back to the A2Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, Cody Zipman right next door. And Cody, it is National Occupational Therapy Month.
OTA!
Did you know, I was going to ask, did you happen to know that we had an OTA program here, but I don't think I have to ask
notes.
you. Yeah, it's in the cheat sheets, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We are fortunate to have with us today Debbie Witsken, who is a professor in the program, and also Ashley Harris, an associate professor. Ladies, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for being here to help us celebrate Occupational Therapy Month.
Woohoo! Thank you for having us. Yes.
So do you have balloons all over the place and, big celebration planned, or is this just, you're so busy, this just, just one day in the days of many?
We used to have a big celebration, but over the last couple years and after COVID, it's just become, a day in the life of many. But we'll have to get back to that.
We are planning, our second year students actually are planning a happy hour again. I don't know if they've even shared that yet, but later this month. So if you are a graduate of our OTA program and you are on our Facebook group, you may see an invitation to that, because I'm not going to give all the details away, but check that out. It'll be later in April that we are trying to get back to some of the stuff Ashley mentioned that we used to do when we would celebrate.
Well, together. This is our happy 10 minutes.
Woohoo!
In your honor, right?
Plus,
here. So
every day with these two, it's a celebration.
always happy celebration.
We are
Cody already knows.
I know. I've been over there. It's happening.
I'm sure it is. So tell us a little bit about the OTA program, what all it entails, what the career opportunities are, things like that.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, I'll start. So occupational therapy is a health science field, and we help people to be able to do everyday activities. So we give people hope in times of despair. So it could be anywhere from a child born with disabilities through the entire lifespan. If they have some kind of accident, disease, any kind of condition that causes them to have difficulties doing everyday activities, we can step in and teach them different ways to do these activities. We could teach them ways to compensate for loss of function, anything like that. Our goal is to help people to live life to the fullest, as we like to say. Ashley, if you want to add on to any of that, and then we can go on.
We are a holistic profession, meaning that we focus on every aspect of a person. So their mind, their body, their spirit. And we do that through what we call occupations, and those are those everyday things that Debbie was referring to. So we're very different from a lot of other health fields because we really take into consideration what's meaningful and what's purposeful for each person, and that's going to be different from person to person. So we're very client-centered. We really take into consideration what a person wants and needs to do in their day-to-day lives.
So my impression before hearing those two answers was that occupational therapy usually involved some type of a workplace injury, that sort of thing. And I guess maybe it can, but it doesn't have to. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct. Occupation, you think of work when you hear the word occupation, but for us, it's day-to-day activities. So they could be bathing, dressing, toileting, grooming, those things that you do in your everyday life. And once you have an illness or an injury, sometimes your ability to do those things are impacted. And so that's where we step in to come help bridge that gap between what you used to be able to do and what you're hoping to get back to doing.
We also work with kids so we can help them hit developmental milestones. We have lots of our graduates who work in early intervention, which is 0 to 3, helping, again, kids in their homes and working with parents or caregivers, teaching them, how to play, how to feed, how to work on dressing skills. And then as they move through to the school age, at age 3, they can go into the public school system, and we support kids in the school system. We work on things like sensory processing, handwriting, just self-care needs within that environment, all kinds of things. So really, as you go through the lifespan, whatever people are doing at that kind of time in their life, we can help them to be able to either engage in those activities. Maybe they have a delay and they've never actually learned those skills, so we can teach them, or if they've had something happen and they're no longer able to, then we can help to remediate those skills. And we also, Ashley is kind of her baby too, is mental health, which is a big area within the field of OT that is kind of an untapped area in a lot of areas, but OT looks at that. I don't know if you want to.
We actually got our roots in mental health. A lot of people don't know that that's how occupational therapy started, but way back in World War II, I believe, one or two.
One, I think.
We helped the soldiers after coming back from the war. We helped them to get back to everyday activities. Lots of them were displaced and didn't have a place in the world. They felt left out. They felt like because they had an injury, they couldn't go back to work, or they weren't really doing anything. And so our 4 founders realized that if you give people purpose and you give them something to do that's meaningful in their life, then they do have a sense of purpose and they do live meaningful lives. And so we actually got our roots in mental health. And I think that OT is one of the greatest careers out there because, as Debbie mentioned, we help people from 0 to 100, and there's no limit to what we are able to accomplish and focus on with our clients. So we're very versatile.
I want you to brag a little bit about your OTA classroom, the lab, the setup that you have, because you guys, I want to say, what you might lead in this area with some of the tech and setup because I go in there, it's almost like I'm in a living room already.
Yeah.
And you observe all this. Plus you got the monitors on the wall, the smart screen. You got the lab on the backside, and I'm like, well, this is kind of a futuristic classroom in the area.
We are blessed. We had some great maintenance guys back in the couple years ago who came through for us and helped us to kind of reimagine our space. So we do in our lab, we actually have an ADL apartment that is nicely decorated and fully furnished, but it has all of the different areas, kitchen with dishwasher, laundry, stovetop, all of those things. We have bathroom that's fully functioning, a bedroom, a living room, seating area, it all that we can use in class to, again, help people kind of think about how we would do this in the natural environment, because that's what we work on. We also have been blessed to have a smart board in our space. And really, the college has been very generous in anything that we need to help our students to learn the material. We have access to all kinds of different things. We're actually getting new desks and chairs to the spring, so we're very excited about that. And we have the blue walls, so if you walk through campus in the math building and you see the blue walls, that's the OTA area right off out right past the doorway with Blazer on the wall and all of that. So it's a really nice space, and we're thankful for that, for sure.
So it sounds like this would be the type of thing that would be very difficult to train a student for, based on the fact that as you've mentioned, there are really no limits, but there are also really no predictions isn't the right word, but no foresight or foreknowledge necessarily as to what type of restriction your patient or client might have. And so it's almost like you're building every program from scratch based on that person's restrictions. And when you say they may not be able to do it the way they used to, you have to find another way. And that could mean almost anything based on what their inability at that time is. So how do you train the students other than to constantly be thinking of new ways to do what we used to do this particular way? It seems like it's wide open. I mean, how do you, someone who can't brush their teeth anymore, how do you just stop and say, well, our plan B, this is how we would do it, but plan B may not work for them. So then you got to go to plan C or plan D, and I'm answering the question. I don't want to do that. You tell me. But I mean, it seems like you're constantly having to figure out another way because all the ways we thought would work this time don't work.
You are spot on, Jeff. Kudos to you. Sounds like you've been in our classroom,
I know, but I might be someday.
But to answer your question, we teach our students that they're lifelong learners, okay? So, when you're in the health field, technology is always improving. Healthcare is always changing. And so we teach our students that they're constantly going to be students of the profession. Debbie and I go to continuing education programs and workshops all the time to kind of stay abreast of what's the latest and the greatest out there. We both have continued to work in the field. I recently just quit, and she just recently quit a few weeks ago after, 18 or 20 years of working part-time in addition to being educators in the program. Occupational therapy is also a data-driven profession, evidence-based research profession, meaning that we go back and see what the research says. We don't want to just be pulling something out of our hat to say that this works for a client. We want to be able to go to the research to show and prove to the clients that this research shows that this treatment that we're doing has been proven to work for this client's condition. And as you said, it is constantly a process of elimination or a trial and error type approach. You might try something that was evidence-based and it didn't work. And then based on your client's response, you go back to the drawing board and you try something again. We have different tools that we call adaptive equipment that we pull out of we like to say our OT toolbox, the many different pieces of equipment that we can use to help a client to improve their function. So sometimes we'll try one tool and that didn't seem to work, but you try another one and it does. And what works for Jeff might not work for Cody, and that might not work for anyone else. You just kind of have to, as you said, based on their restrictions or their limitations, see what does work. And we like to focus on the client's abilities more so than their inabilities because, oftentimes after you have an illness or an injury, that's all you see is what I can't do. And so instead of focusing on that, OT helps the client to really see what you can do and how you can do it a little bit differently than the way you did it before.
So Cody comes in as your patient and you give him the plan, okay? And I'm sure, without mentioning any other names, just besides Cody, we'll use him. I'm not going to do it. I'm absolutely not going to do it. You can't make me. I've done this forever this way.
Sounds exactly like me.
I'm not going to do it. How do you? I know that's happened. How do you get beyond that? Because when someone is either injured or maybe they just feel a little bit down, or maybe they're challenging a mental health situation because of an injury or something like that, and they just depression, whatever it is, they just feel like, oh, no, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to do it. That sounds like a huge challenge.
Right, it is a challenge, and we, again, as Ashley mentioned, client-centered care is a hallmark of OT. So, really learning about your client, kind of what motivates them, what kind of things interest them, and using those to get in there. For Cody, could probably motivate him by using his kids in some way, having them cheer dad on in some way, or his wife, or maybe some of the athletes, but bringing in things that are important to him, meaningful to him, would be kind of our avenue in. Again, developing rapport, that therapeutic relationship, making sure that your client understands, like, our goal here is to help you to do things that are important to you. And, we acknowledge that you're going through a really tough time right now, and we want to help you to overcome whatever obstacles are in the way. Like, that's our whole purpose. I think of myself as kind of like this guide on the side, the problem solver. I have all these resources that I have access to. I'm trying to figure out which ones will best work with you to help you to achieve whatever it is. And maybe that is getting back to life how it was before. And depending on what it is, life may not look the same. So how can we, if I was an athlete and maybe I'm not gonna be able to get back to that exact sport, but is there a way I can get into coaching? Is there a way I can get into some other avenues, and trying to just help to direct that path in some way?
So a lot of it's really relationship building and getting the trust and the buy-in from the patient, as well as actually then having to do the physical or the health part of it that comes along. Cody, you're going to be all right.
With these two, yes. I'll be fine.
You're going to do what they tell you. I know you are.
Always.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have two questions. One, what's on the horizon for OTA? What's the future look like? Does it have an AI piece maybe? Everybody's talking about AI. And then two, before we go out, how about we give like an insight to projected students here on what they'd experience through your program, and where they could go afterwards.
Do you want to do the first question? Or
Sure.
I'll do the second?
If you look at all of the, reports that are out there, U.S. News and World Report, or if you look at the labor statistics, you will constantly see that OTA is going to top the list of one of the fastest growing professions and careers, and that projections are that we're a necessary field. And so I think that we're going to continue to be necessary, especially with the baby boomer generation getting older and wanting to do what we call age in place. People want to be able to live in their homes as long as they possibly can. So we are able to assist with that. I also think with higher levels of students and children who are being diagnosed with autism and diagnoses on the spectrum, the need and necessity for us in the schools are going to continue to be relevant. So I think we're a profession that has stability if someone is looking for a job. As far as AI, it's the future. It's here whether we want it or not, right? And as opposed to looking at it as a way that students or the profession is hindering or could be hindered, I think that Debbie and I have decided to embrace it, use it as another mode to assist with helping to determine what is good for your client or what's an alternative approach. Maybe I'm stuck and I can't think of something else that I want to do or should do with this client. Well, let's see what AI says. They might have a good idea, or maybe they have a different spin on what I've already been doing. So we think that the best way to move forward with technology is to embrace it and move with it. So that's kind of how we're approaching the future. I think we're both very positive minded, and we like to take challenges on with thinking about how we best can serve our students. We are constantly surveying them to think, ask them what they think or what they're looking for or what they need. And so I think we try to stay as relevant as we possibly can so that students know that they always have a place in this field.
I love what you said there. Another tool in the toolbox with AI.
For sure. Good job, Ashley.
Thanks,
we think we share a brain, by the
We
way.
do.
So
I can tell.
we are.
She's my sister from a different mister.
So did she answer both questions?
I'll talk just a little bit more about
Just a little bit on-
the kind of, so a couple things about the OTA program. We actually bring in one cohort a year. We are a selective admission program. So there is more than just applying to Lewis and Clark. So anyone who is interested in OTA, I would highly recommend that you get in touch with me. You can find my information on our Lewis and Clark website, and we could meet and talk about that. But there are some other pieces to the application. We have a spring start date. It is a 2-year associate degree program. Lots of psychology, some science. Our classes, we have classes on physical dysfunction. We have pediatrics. We have older adults. We have mental health. Just, again, practice issues, all of those kinds of things in our program. Then the last semester, you're actually out in the field working with an OT practitioner, or volunteering, I should say, doing your field work, practicing those skills. And then after you graduate, you do have to take a certification exam. It's a national exam, and then you'd be licensed in whatever states you want to be licensed in, and then you would get a job. We do have several of our students who have gone, our graduates who've gone on to become OTs, which is the next level. That's a master's or a doctorate level, and there are bridge programs, so we help students through that process. They're interested. And while you're in the program, we try to bring our grads back to kind of share their journey so that you can kind of see what other graduates have done with this degree, which is pretty amazing. We say that we help our students become generalists so they can work really in most settings just from graduating from our program. And again, as we talked about, them being lifelong learners, then they would kind of figure out what area, they really want to concentrate on and take continued education or more courses in that area.
I like it.
Well, we want to thank you for being with us, for sure. Continued success with the program, and it sounds like it's a growing program and is
it sounds like
trending to continue.
Another program that we lead, right?
That's what it sounds
like. We lead
like.
with our professors. We lead with our technology. We lead with the experience. If you're a student out there, just another program you can sign up at LC.
Or at least come to one of our events on campus and check all these things out. You never know what might stir up some interest in you, and then you can just hop on and go from there. Before we leave today, we should talk about our upcoming podcast on Monday, our live podcast out on the Grove. It's Eclipse Day, or at least that's what we call it, and we're going to be out there live. We're going to have Dr. Traska on as a co-host of the event, so we're excited about that. We're going to have one of our faculty members here who teaches the astronomy class to come in and tell us all about the eclipse. And I hear he's bringing props, so that could really be cool. I don't have any idea what that means, so that's like a tease. You'll have to watch to find out what that is. And then we'll just pull folks out of the party because it's a big party that's going on out here at the Grove for the eclipse. It starts at 12:30. I think we're going to start about 1:30 with our live podcast so that we can be there through the lighted area into the however much darkness we get, and then back to the light again. So we're looking forward to it. We haven't tried anything live
It's
yet,
live. It's kind of scary.
A little scary, and I know it's really scary for Producer O. For
Producer
sure.
O's got the dump button, right? It's ready to go?
Yeah.
The dump
there is no dump button.
No.
You're gonna have to alert everybody ahead of time for that.
Adele Hayes and Harris Legender, watch out on that. No dump button.
So we're gonna have some students there as well. So we're looking forward to it. We're gonna try something new. Ought to be a great time, and maybe part of it will get so dark you won't be able to see us, and it won't matter anyway. But we're gonna try it and see what happens. You go for it once in a while, right? Exactly. Yep. So, ladies, thanks so much again for being here. Again, continued success with the program. It sounds, as I said, like it's really trending in a great direction, and I'm sure both of you are, at least in some ways, partly responsible for that. So keep up the good work.
Whoop, whoop.
Bring your OTA game every day.
Yes,
that's right.
LC.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, take us out.
We are
LC A to Z.